Attention, all epic Wargroove gamers. Okay, so I'm not going to finish the rest of that copy pasta, but here I am. It's me, DPSI. I'm going to take away the stream starting soon text because we're starting soon. I mean, we're no longer starting soon, we're starting now. So let me make that go away. So I could give a hullabaloo about intros and stuff. What we're going to do, though, is just hop straight into talking with Sneaky Dragon, who is so graciously offered some of their time to us to talk through the game as it will be unfolding shortly. Well, who knows how shortly? We haven't heard from Zeronix yet, so... Yeah, man, rip text. Okay, so, yeah, so without further ado, I'm going to call up Sneaky Dragon. And I guess one last thing. I'm sorry about the stream quality. It's going to be up and down just because I couldn't really pick where I could stream. I'm traveling, so internet is not the best. So, yeah, let me call up Sneaky Dragon, say what's up. Okay. We might not hear him right away, so... Hello, Sneaky Dragon?
Hello, hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Let's see.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've got the stream on, so I heard you asking me, and then a few minutes, like 30 seconds later, I heard you asking me again. So I responded again. Then I heard me answering you. It was very surreal.
Yeah, I'm in like 30-second delay mode right now. There's like a switch for that. I'll try to figure out where that went. So, yeah, welcome so much. I'm so glad that you're here because, you know, I haven't played Wargroove in a while. As you probably could tell from the match we played yesterday. So, it'll be really... I'm really excited to have you here to talk about sort of the more of the detailed analysis as it comes up in the game, and yeah, really excited to get this started when everybody's ready to go.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, definitely taking over for Barrett. I've been feeling a lot like Barrett today. I woke up very early, like very early for me, and got on stream and it was canceled, postponed for like very late for me tonight. Came here, it's like I don't know, I'm cold, I'm in a basement, there's bad Wi-Fi, it's just, there's a lot going on, but you know, the Wargroove theme is playing behind me. I'm excited for the matches. I feel like $1,000,000 Barrett bucks. You know, like, I feel great. So let me check in. I'm gonna just periodically dart in and out of the server to see when everybody's here. It looks like we're still waiting on Zeronix in the meantime.
Yeah, Zero is online, so that's a very good sign. Although they can be a little forgetful sometimes. If they're on Discord, they'll get the ping, so I think they'll probably join in soon.
Good stuff. All right, so I was pretty uninformed about this tournament. The way that I heard about it first was that Go7, who hangs out a lot in the Advanced Wars Discord, was saying like, hey, I beat Psychoia, and I was like, what? And like, so I looked at this tournament, and so this is actually part of like a 3-part tournament that covers Go, Chess, and Wargroove. Is that right?
Yeah. I think Zeronix took first place in Go, Ash took first place in Chess, and this will determine who takes the Wargroove segment.
Oh, so Zeronix is actually looking at like a winning 2 out of the 3 titles here, which should be... Could we let him do that? That's a lot of power. Like, does he get a different designation for each successful win? Does he get like a roll for both wins. Like it's a lot of rolls, man. You know.
Well, this isn't the world tournament, so I'm not sure if they're giving away roles for this, but they might if somebody gets like best overall. I don't know. You'd have to ask Barrett that one.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. This is not Groove of War, so definitely different style here, and that's cool. It's interesting to see more. Everybody loves Wargroove. It's great to see more Wargroove. Such a fun game to see streams live for sure.
Even if it's not the world tournament, this is still a killer lineup. I mean, we had Sequoia go down to a new player. We got MVACM, Zested, Barrett's in this. Lots of big names. I think everybody in the Wargroove bracket is a recognizable person in the Wargroove community.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's funny. I come in and out playing like Test Your Metal once a year or so, and yeah, every time I come in, it's like the players that I used to be able to beat are now beating me pretty consistently. Like the growth in this scene is definitely palpable.
Oh, yeah, for sure. By the way, do you know what map they'll be playing on today?
Oh no, I'm very uninformed about all that stuff. I can ask Go7 though really quick. He's nearby in a server proximal sense.
Yeah, while we're waiting for Zero, we could talk about the map and some strategies we might see. Wargroove rules for the finals. Yes, show me the rules, Smash GG. Oh, okay, it's map pick and ban. The map pool is Shifting Sands, a classic map we've seen a ton of in competitive Wargroove. Theft in 19x19, that map has been around in one form or another since the dawn of competitive Wargroove. The Encounter 1.3, that will be a real test of opening skills. That map can be FTA or STA depending on what opening you go for, and I don't think anyone's completely solved it yet. Though I will say that for naive players, it does favor player 1, but if you really test it out, there are some cool player 2 things. Once Upon a Heist, really good map, a really crazy map. That's the one with thieves everywhere, including in your own territory. Definitely a lot of crazy openings on that map. Some good wagon strats, some interesting rushes and steals. And then we have Axial. I like Axial. I know a lot of people don't. It's a map where you have kind of your production in the middle of the map, and the strongholds in the middle of the map, and there are 2 of them, and it's this massive base race while you're also trying to take the sides. Even though it's not the most popular map, I really like it. I think there's a lot of cool things you can do. I know that Engineer Goose added in a new update to the map that makes it very difficult to balloon in reinforcements from your corner barracks. I'm not sure if they'll be playing on that updated version or not.
Yeah, so I actually just heard back from Go7. Looks like they're gonna do game 1 on Theft in 19x19.
Awesome. That's a really old map. It used to be Life in 19x19 before Thieves were introduced, and they updated it for patch 2.
Yeah, I do remember, it was like, was it a Mori map? Or I'm trying to remember who the map maker was, because it was right there at the beginning.
I don't know who made the original map. I think Faded Sun made the updated version. I'm not sure who was the first author.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking because, yeah, I mean, it's got. I remember each time you come back, you have a new way to enjoy the map with successive updates. I wonder though. So, like throughout the history of the map, I've only seen it in small spurts at a time. But are there like certain openings that like work and then don't work and then work again, or like where are we at with stuff like that?
Absolutely. If we have a little time, if you want to open the map, we could talk about some of the different openings.
Yeah, let me. Okay, you're gonna have to help me out here. So, should I make a new multiplayer game on it, or is there a way to preview the map without doing so?
Yeah, just make a local game playing against yourself. We don't actually need to go through all the moves. We could just like talk about the different options. Oh, do local, so it's just you.
Is it
Multiplayer?
Then local? Got it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I downloaded all the maps the other day. Is it 1.2? Is that right?
The version in this tournament will be 1.8.
I'm pretty out of date. Gotta update
That's
my
okay.
software here. Showed my age there. Okay.
Well, you can just click on the most recent one you have, because we're just going to generally talk about the different options. So in an older version, we can still kind of talk about them.
An educated choice.
And then just insta-lock commanders, just to put a visual on the screen.
Insta-lock commanders?
Yep, perfect. All right. So there are a couple ways you can go about it. I think the most popular opening recently was to take the commander, you see Emmerich at 3 health, to the right, grab villages along the right, and then go up and around, and just kind of scroll over to the right, grab that village, then grab that village, go around. But instead of continuing on, when you get to the second village, you see right by the castle wall in the middle of the map, go a little to the left, little to the left.
Yeah, like these guys?
Or right, there's a 30-minute delay on, so I'm not looking at the screen. This is a little hard to do.
Castle wall. Yeah, it's always a bit challenging with stream delay.
Okay, so 2 spaces to the right of Emmerich. You can capture that village or skip it for acceleration. Then 4 spaces to the right and 3 up. Grab that village.
Right,
you always grab that village. Then you go straight up, and by this time, a sword you've built will be able to arrive at the village up from that village and 2 to the left.
And then you heal off that.
Yeah, you use the commander and the sword to decap it if the enemy has tried to steal it from you. Or just cap it and heal it if the enemy has not tried to steal it. There are a few variations here, because if the enemy does steal it, and you open correctly, this is actually something that Zeronix, I think, was one of the first people to do. You actually kill the enemy sword, and then take down the village, which will give you a lot of groove. But if the enemy doesn't capture it, you can heal off it, and then move forward to kill the next village, kind of 3 above it and 1 to the left. What do any of these words mean?
Got it, yeah. No, I was just, just a little bit hard to visualize all of that at once, but definitely, like, I see what you mean, though, with, like, variations with thief and sword. So it does seem like this village is a bit of a contentious point here, which is a little surprising. It seems kind of deep, close to the HQ of red, and it
is deep.
Yeah.
There's another strategy that I think Sequoia calls the yoink opening. The idea is, if you go back to red, you build to the left of the left barracks, you build a sword, but instead of capturing that village, you actually just rush the sword up as quickly as possible. I'm not sure if you can do it on this version of the map, but you rush the sword up and to the left as quickly as possible, and if you go up the screen, you can actually steal one of your opponent's villages by the mountain very early that way.
I'm gonna cut you off here really quick. I just got the match code, so let's go ahead and get into that so we don't miss what happens at the beginning. Do you want us to start at the same time so that we see like the synchronized capture game, or does?
Yes, that's a good point. Although it's going to be live, so I think once we catch up to live time, we'll be seeing it in the same frame. So you can go ahead and start. Just message me the code so I can join in too.
Oh yeah. Oh man, all this multitasking. All right. Let's see. So.
So they're in the commander pick phase now. Do we know who picked this map?
I didn't hear who did that. Could you help me get to the map really quick? So it's I'm in public lobbies.
Oh, you don't need to do that. Just click online. Click a new match. New match.
Oh, you did
join
new
by
mat-
code.
Got it. Yeah. It said new match, and it is a new match, I guess, but it's just not my new match, which is why I was confused. 4B9.
And yes, Caesar was banned for being the goodest boy. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. So, did you get a chance to watch the game, or I guess the set that they played earlier in the tournament?
No, I've been so busy. I haven't gotten to watch TYT. I would play in this thing if I had time to watch it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I had some free time, so I checked it out, and so it was Barrett going over the replays, and something that he commented on, like Go7 tended to go some pretty unconventional picks into the classic Zeronix Valder. So into Valder, I think he went Sigrid and then Wolfar. Which,
okay.
I mean, according to like the knowledge that maybe this is outdated knowledge, but I feel like they're a little underwhelming compared to Valder much of the time.
So Wolfar is actually very similar to Valder. I would rate them very close. Both commanders can get powerful very early on, and they can make early aggressive use of groove. But Valder wants to interact with villages or swords and not be bothered too much. Wolfar kind of wants to be bothered a little bit, because Wolfar can bully off knights, whereas another commander might get pushed back by the knights. So depending on the map and the opening, either one can get an early economic advantage.
Right, yeah, and I think the matches were both played on Theft and 19x19. I don't have like the best memory for that, but I think both matches were played here, or at least a map that looks kind of similar. Top set, like north south, and then like large open area in the center. So I mean, I guess what I'm trying to get at is like Wolfar can definitely go up and down a bit in the tier list according to like flagstone, ocean tiles, and stuff like that. These things hurt him and help him, or the lack of them might hurt him. So I guess I don't know. Either way, it surprised me. I mean, it looks like they're still selecting, so I don't think we can make anything of the characters we see on screen right now. But so we're actually heard here from Go7. Looks like they're getting some technical difficulties. Zeronix's save file got corrupted, and so the CEO he wanted to play is not unlocked for him.
Oh no!
So yeah, you gotta go beat the campaign really quick, and then we'll be right back with you pretty soon here. I'm not that dumb. Yeah. So I imagine it'll be probably just as easy as like downloading the save file, and hopefully it works the second time. So yeah, hopefully that should happen. But there's still plenty to talk about in framing this event, definitely.
Yeah, so you said Sigrid was another Go7 pick. That one is weird. Wolfar really is top of the tier list. I put them at the bottom of mine for one season and then regretted it. Like, in the really specific map situation, Wolfar can be lower tier. But under most circumstances, Wolfar is top tier. But Sigrid is weird. What did Go7 do with Sigrid?
Kind of like pushed an airport and ate a. I mean, that's not called an airport. Pushed like a tower and ate a harpy. And that gave him a bit of like staying power to like, keep the push alive. So that was kind of the Sigrid-ish part of the game, and then otherwise it was just, like solid fundamentals from both players.
Okay, I could see that.
But, it just seems like if that's all you got, you can imagine that, 5 extra swords, or maybe like, let's say 3 to 5 extra swords by the time the big army fights come along. It just seems like that scales faster, but I don't know. I mean, like, if maybe the denial of threat is like secretly a little bit more subtle to see.
Oh, Zeronix is going for Elodie. Elodie is a very solid pick. It took a while. The community was sleeping on Elodie for a long time. And then I think it was Psychoya and Devixel who really started doing some crazy Elodie things. And now Alsame did it first, to be fair.
I remember the Alsame,
but then
the Alsame lethal. That was sick.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there were many, but there was like one in particular that I think, at least that I saw, that I went, wow, maybe there's something to this character after all.
Vito reminded us Elodie still existed. Alsame made us realize Elodie could be good, and then Psychoya and Devixel showed that Elodie could just be meta. I think that's the history as far as I remember it.
Very cool. So it looks like Go7 says, all right, are you in? And with an emphatic yes, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see if Go7 locks in Valder here, or maybe. Here we go, he says.
The choice of Elodie is so big because it will change the openings that we talked about. Oh, here we go.
So what
Do
does
you want to
Elodie
do the thing?
Wait, what's the thing?
The thing!
In the bottom left corner! That's the thing. I knew that. In the bottom left corner, there's Zeronix. And he's like teal. In the upper right corner, we have Go7 playing Valder. There was that silence, and I was like, something belongs here. Oh man. Okay, so I was curious though. I was thinking about what you said about like Elodie openers and like how they change like due to her power. Like, could you elaborate on that? Like, what does she do in the opening that
Sure.
Yeah.
So remember I was talking about how you can send a sword very deep and capture a deep village, but if you do, the commander and the sword work together to kill it, and the sword that captured it. Well, that gives a lot of groove. It might be risky to do something like that against Elodie, because then you'll give Elodie a lot of groove very early on.
Okay, so the idea is just like, you want to be careful of giving lots of groove. Okay, gotcha.
Right, because Elodie's a slow charger. It's realistic to deny Elodie groove for most of the game if you plan your opening carefully.
Perfect. Okay. That makes great sense.
Now, Valder's someone you want to deny for the exact opposite reason. Valder is a very fast charger, meaning every time they kill something, including a village, they can use groove again. So feeding Valder early groove means you get swarmed by swords before you can build a response. Oh wow, Go7 is not going the typical opening route. They sent their commander around the mountainside.
Yeah, indeed. It looks like I mean, the commander does have like a pretty noticeable chain of captures here. It looks like, you know, 2 chain guaranteed, and then potentially a third. But, you know, it just depends on what the opponent does, I guess. But yeah, I mean, anytime you talk about messing with build orders, it's just like it gets complicated fast.
Now, unfortunately, Go7 should have been a little bit ahead on economy at the end of their turn, but because of their opening line, they were tied with Zeronix, which actually means they're behind overall. So they're sacrificing a little bit of early gold to do what they're doing. I hope they can justify it with some awesome plays.
See, with 200 left over, looking like Sword or Dog is the only thing that can come out of this last barracks. Looks like everything's going to be pretty much captured up pretty quickly, so Dog is an option in the sense that like it doesn't cost you any short-term economy. But it looks like it goes with Sword, just straightforward option.
I'm a little bit worried about Go7's position here. If you look at Valder, there is no supporting infantry to help Valder heal. So Valder will have to capture their own villages, and that will mean they'll be at low health. And Zeronix's sword is perfectly positioned for that steal deep in the territory that we talked about. I think Go7 will be starved on commander health due to their irregular opening.
Does Mage reach the neutral property next to Valder? Is it 3 move over the mountain?
Yeah, it's 3 move over the mountain, so even a mage wouldn't reach it. But even if Go7 built a mage, and even if it had extra movement, it still wouldn't be enough, because you see that green sword hiding below the 5 village? That's going to capture the village on Zeronix's next turn. There's very little reason not to.
Yeah, that's a great point.
I guess arguably Zeronix could sleep on it to try to make Valder go deeper to hit something to get groove, but I don't think it adds up. I think Zeronix will go for stealing that village. An early archer from Go7. I'm very perplexed by this, that archer has nothing to attack for quite a few turns.
Yeah, and you know, it doesn't even really respond to the sword directly, since the sword can retreat by the time the archer is in range. What do you think about? I mean, you could think of the archer as being like a response to knight, but I mean that doesn't make much sense to me. But could you see that as a possible reason for it?
Not really. It's very rare that a knight would go behind the enemy barracks. It's too easy to get picked off by pikes or trapped, or you'd only do that if you were gloriously winning. So unless Go7 is planning on losing by a lot, I don't think that's the purpose of the archer. If you're going to counter a knight, you build knights of your own, or you build pikes, or you build harpies, or you put things behind swords to make the knight not able to trade. But our archers don't counter knights until much later.
Right. You were mentioning that you kind of imagine the archer sitting back by the barracks. I feel like it has to get active, or like in the middle of the field, or else it just really doesn't do anything at all.
Right, and that's the problem. Building an archer this early, there's no transportation to move it forward, and an archer is very slow. I don't think it's going to be useful for most of this game. If you take a look at what Zeronix just did on the left, that's what I was talking about. They took control of the village and used it to completely heal their commander. And now, Elodie on their next turn can take that 7 village right above Elodie. Meanwhile, look at Go7's Valder. They're really low on health. There's no village they can take down. Their only heal is to just stay put and weaken this village they just captured themselves. It's a much worse situation. I don't think Go7 justified this unusual opening.
Actually, one thing I do notice with the archer, it looks like it is a way to set up the village, like the forward teal village for 2-hit KO after Valder heals up. So it could be like archer hit after Valder heal, and then Valder gets the kill. At least I think the percent works out. But it looks like Go7 actually going directly into the sword, getting groove immediately.
I hope they don't die because of that. Don't get me wrong, there's no kill on the board right now, but the knight is now in a position to chase Valder a little bit. So Valder's gonna get zoned a bit. But you are right about that archer. You are right that if they combine the archer with maybe some nearby swords or Valder, they can get the village back. It's just so much slower than it could have been.
So in the upper left, actually another thing about Go7's capture phase here is I wasn't paying too close attention to the mage, but it looks like the mage kind of went pretty far in the back. So between like mage back capturing, archer, slowly moving through the forest, it's like a lot of Go7's gold is kind of tied up in the back part of the line and hasn't reached the front yet.
Yeah, this would kind of be like the Advanced Wars equivalent of building 2 tanks, but never advancing with them. Or like, I don't know, in chess, you just move your queen back and forth on the back rank. There's more efficient things you could be doing with all of that power.
Exactly. The one that I see a lot from Advanced Wars players is, harassing infantry on the side of the map with tanks. Like taking a golem and like chasing swordsmen in a corner of the map that doesn't have much to do with everything else. That sort of thing.
We see Zeronix really solidifying their lead here. Elodie did flip that village, and Zeronix is doing exactly what I said the typical opening was. And Elodie is now close to 50% groove. Zeronix has a giant already on turn 5. That's a huge advantage. And the knight is chasing down Valder. It's not necessarily going to kill Valder. Valder can survive, but this will force Valder to back off and lose further tempo.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like this early on with a 4 village deficit in the economy feels pretty big. And it doesn't look like, I mean, Go7 can flip this village. And it's a pretty nice sword crit to do so. Maybe even heal off of it. That would help turn the tide a little bit.
It would be good to do, though Valder wants to groove this turn. Healing this turn will put them further behind, but they kind of have to. Without a healthy commander, there's not much you can do.
Yeah, you're right. It never feels good to sit on groove as Valder. I definitely can see that.
One thing we could see is Valder grooves in a way so that the sword protects Valder. The archer stops the knight from going out on a sword, and then Valder heals next turn. That is one option. It will delay Valder's tempo further, but it will get the groove out and let Valder get passive charge for this and next turn. Also, Go7 could tempt fate, summon a sword, and just attack something with it. They technically aren't likely to die if they do that.
So, just to get like an intuition of how often Valder gets swords and like trading for unit count, Is trading a summon sword for like a 5 HP sword something you ever think about, or is that not a trade that you are too keen to take?
A lot of beginner players would make that trade. I've made that trade many times, but it's not a good trade. You want to treat Valdur's swords as if they're valuable because they are, and you want to get them early and use them to block things like knights, capture villages. 2 swords can flip a village by themselves. So the problem is, though, Valdur is supposed to be ahead by this point in time, and Valdur's behind. Being behind early as an early game commander is the worst possible situation. There's not much Valdur can do with the sword now.
I do like to see that Go7 is taking his time here a little bit. When you're kind of in the opening phases like this of a game and things aren't really going right, definitely spending some time trying to figure out a way back into it can go a long way, you know, because death by 1,000 paper cuts is not a very fun way to go.
It's definitely a good point to take some time and think. Go7 needs to regain their position. I will say their instincts are good. They have a weak army and a weak position, but they've consolidated their forces so that they're sort of grouped. One easy mistake to make in this situation would be to spread your forces out to try to deal with all the different threats Zeronix has created. But Go7 has not fallen for that trap. They're keeping a defensive formation, and one that's a little bit difficult to attack, though I do still see some good attacks that Elodie can make.
So it looks like Go7 already up to 3 spears, which seems like a pretty healthy amount considering that, you know, we're only on turn 6. I guess Zeronix, on the other hand, I think the Golem really, you know, stands out as like the next key unit that we're going to see involved in the game here.
I see someone typing, Valdur is a balanced sensei. That's actually true.
Yeah.
That's actually true. In fact, whenever I talk about Wargroove's game design and game balance, Valdur is an example I like to bring up, because Valdur feels so good. It feels like you're playing a necromancer. You kill a sword, then you summon a sword, and you overwhelm your opponents with swords, which can be really good if you know what you're doing, or really bad if you just throw them away. So Valdur is just such a good design.
Yeah, they didn't make his swords 50% stronger in this game.
No, Valdur swords are not 50% stronger.
Yeah.
Except when standing next to Valdur, technically.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Permanent crit sword. So is Zeronix on a road here, or is that a plane? Okay, that's a plane tile.
That's a plane, yeah. But it doesn't matter. Elodie is at full health, well, close to full health, and there is nothing that can even remotely threaten Elodie on the board near Elodie right now.
Yeah, getting the chip on that spear, it always feels to me that I start losing when... I mean, yeah, it's like when you start to see your spear army like deplete uncontrollably, it's... maybe I'm trying to like forecast something, which I'm not, but I just mean to say that like free hits on spears oftentimes I just don't feel good about.
Well, you're right. It is a good metric of someone getting a little desperate. Your spears are not supposed to tank hits that they can't handle. So they're not supposed to tank mages or commanders or golems. And putting the spear kind of in this position, maybe it slowed Elodie down a little bit, but it cost a spear to do it. It was a bit of a desperation play, and it is a sign that Zeronix has a very powerful attack. We can even see the knight is setting up for a crit on the stronghold. In fact, if Go7 does not defend the stronghold, Knight crit plus Elodie crit has a chance of winning the game right there.
So it's a rule for that kill?
It is a roll. I know this because I used to do this thing on Minotaur, where you could technically win the game by turn 4, or with a certain build order turn 3 as player 2. And the way to do that involved a Commander Knight Rush. So yes, it is a roll. For those not familiar with the Wargroove maths, 2 Knight crits will guarantee a kill on a stronghold. Knight crit plus Commander hit is a roll for the kill.
Zeronix has in typical fashion, looking like a double, like he can boost both the backwards pike and the backwards sword all at once. I mean, I don't know if he's like this in Wargroove, but in Advanced Wars, he absolutely loves his APCs.
Oh yeah, Zeronix has masterful transport position in Wargroove.
Yeah, there's somebody made a joke once, like, you know, when Zeronix goes outside to hail a taxi, it's always like 4 APCs show up. Just like he always has a bunch of transports with him. So in the meantime here, Valder getting a bit more aggressive, pushing towards the, getting a city kill, getting Groove immediately, which feels great. Although still a little bit, you'd love to see him at full HP, not 5, but Valder has been active in the meantime, so it's not like there hasn't been a reason for this.
The problem is, though, Valder's activity is only trying to recover economy. But Zero is threatening a checkmate right here. They're threatening to end the game. Go7 needs power in front of that stronghold, and I don't know if they have it. An important thing to remember is capturing a village doesn't do much for you if your opponent can just take it back, unless you're trying to stall them into taking it back. Golem plus sword will easily recapture that village, and because Valder's low health, the Golem can chase and bully Valder. What do you make of Go7's position? Do you think they'll be able to defend the stronghold?
I was just looking at the balloon. So mages one-shot balloons in this game?
Yes.
Okay. So that idea is off the table. But one idea I was thinking too, potentially, you could set up to punish the attempted KO, because there's no option to hit on 3 sides. So you could set up for Commander lethal if he fails the roll, which is kind of a bet you might be willing to take right now.
Well, I don't disagree with the logic. The problem is that Commander lethal isn't on the table. Go7 does not have enough army there to kill a commander, even on road.
Okay. Gotcha. I mean, now that the knight's moved, I was thinking you set up a knight crit, but even then it seems... If the commander would attack between the city and between the village and the HQ, then yeah, 2 sides and an archer. I don't think you can do that with any of those units.
Yeah, best case scenario, let's say you get maximum damage from a knight crit would be 50. Maximum damage from an archer crit would be 15. You still need 35 more damage, and there's just nothing. Maybe Pike Suicide plus Mage. Commander still lives with I think 3 health, even if everything gets the maximum possible roll.
Okay, gotcha. I always forget how much mages do to commanders.
Oh, maybe. If the knight crit was set up, and the mage, and the archer crit, and Go7 did heal math to heal the pike to just enough so that it could suicide into Elodie, on all max rolls, and if Zeronix didn't block any sides of the commander, it would be theoretically possible.
He balloons Valder
But-
all the way over for a sword crit.
But yeah, more realistically, all Go7 can do in this situation is try to stop Elodie from standing next to the stronghold. Because if Elodie stands next to the stronghold and hits it, and the knight hits it, that stronghold will fall next turn. There's not much you can do to prevent that. A sword can take it down. But if you stop one of them from standing next to the stronghold, you can kill the knight, start fighting the other units, maybe drive them off, maybe push Elodie into fighting somewhere Elodie doesn't want to fight. Elodie only has 65 groove, so as long as she doesn't kill anything else, she can be stopped from getting groove for a while, so it is theoretically possible to defend this, I think, just kind of putting threats and swords and things nearby.
Yeah.
But something's...
I was just thinking, like, how guaranteed it would be if, like, you know, if Elodie could wedge herself between the village and the HQ, because even if you have, like, if the mage survives, you know, heal kill is very guaranteed, it seems. But actually, dislodging that mage looks like it's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, there's only one thing that kills the mage, it's the knight, and using the knight like that would be risky. I really like what Go7 has done here, because they've made it extremely inconvenient to go for this. The mage would have to take the balloon, the knight would have to take the mage, Elodie would have to stand on that road and smack it. It's only one side. And then you could pretty convincingly kill the knight. Elodie wouldn't have a ton of groove. The swords would be a problem, but you could start attacking them, building things from the tower. You might be able to drive Elodie back. So I like this defense. I think this is solid.
Yeah. What do you think about... Okay, I guess Knight doesn't reach Archer, which you probably don't want to do anyways, but you could imagine, like, sword crit onto Mage? I don't know. Maybe that's just, like... Now you're just talking about, like, raw damage, and it's kind of a lot to attack into with the golem out of position.
Yeah, if it were me, I wouldn't go for this. Like, unless... I didn't completely calc this. Maybe Zeronix can see some kind of, like, 300 IQ way to do this, but I think the safe play is just use the golem, take back that 5 village next to Valder, keep pressure on the HQ to keep them pinned, and then send some knights after some other villages. Get more units to fight. Just, like, slowly close out the game.
Yeah, exactly. I did notice, though, it looks like Go7, like, temporarily at least, the income is temporarily even, although there's like a village inco, so, you know, it's fluctuating a little bit, but it's not a 400 income disadvantage anymore for Go7.
That is true. But I want to remind everybody that it's not the income at the end of your turn that matters. It's the income at the beginning. So at the beginning of Go7's last turn, they were behind the income Zeronix has at the beginning of this turn. It's a little funky to think about.
Yeah,
but it's the money you actually get.
Yeah, it's that is a difference for sure. To some extent. So, I mean, it looks like the golem can just move right for free, and you know, decap, kill a sword maybe. Does Knight even has a nice shot onto the 5 HP village? Okay, Zeronix is getting spicy with it. Okay. Oh, sword crit onto HQ?
Swords can't reach.
Oh. They don't have that much move.
So I never considered the fact that Elodie might stand there, but there is a lethal with Elodie standing there. The Zeronix has to cover this well, or Elodie can actually go down. That's funny.
This kind of long pause in his moves, it just makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable, doesn't it? It's like, you can imagine somebody in that situation might go like, did I mess this up? But he's moving confidently here, and it looks like he was just figuring out his moves here. Looks like he's pretty close to finishing moving in the area, so we could kind of evaluate what's going on. I mean, it was basically...
I'm kind of wondering if there was an oops there, because Zeronix paused and then covered the tile that would cause the lethal to happen. Like, that square where the knight went after the pause blocks the potential sword suicide, though the sword's dead now, blocks the knight crit. I feel like Zeronix was like, oh, I might die, I need to fix that.
Yeah. Yeah, that could definitely... you could see that. Because it does seem a little peculiar that the knight would, use a crit on a sword when there's an HQ that's looking to take the hit.
We can ask Zeronix later how intentional this was, but it is a very good attack nonetheless. The golem is rearing up to kill something. It's going to be very difficult to get to that mage, but it's possible. Oh, mage can go down, Harpy's invincible. Huh. There's some counterplay here, but this is still a good attack with the golem threat, Elodie threat, knight threat.
Yeah, Zeronix's second mage is pretty out of the picture. Although if it suddenly needed to boost to center, it does have a balloon transport available.
I can guess what Go7 is thinking about right now, and there are a couple things in consideration. One is Valder. Valder could get surrounded if they're not careful. So, Valder might want to go for, more deep villages, try to take economy, but Attack on Titans is coming from the bottom right barracks. It's just golem, golem, golem. So, Valder kind of needs to back up and get back to the HQ fight at some point. The other thing to think about is what kills the 6 health sword. That 6 health sword guarding Zeronix's mage. You can kill it with the Harpy, or the Archer, or the Knight. But personally, I like the idea of killing it with the Archer. One for the Harpy. So that way the Knight can take the mage.
I see. So and the Harpy is actually an invincible wall right now.
By my hand, rise.
And Valder does retreat and tries to bring a sword into the action.
Wow, Archer crit does a lot of damage to knights. Holy moly.
Unfortunately, this will keep the Archer, which is a very valuable unit, in a vulnerable position.
Yeah, it took so much effort to get it to a place on the map where it actually does something. The knight living at 1 let's see what the true HP is 15, so it's actually looks like it lived to that pretty comfortably.
I wonder if we're gonna see that mage finish off the knight.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. I mean, you're not really looking to heal anything this turn. Um, although it's, I guess, oh, the knight. Well, it doesn't really have a place to heal very much HP immediately. So it's not like a... Okay, so it decides to trade out with the knight. Seems fair enough. And it seems that Zeronix can continue if he wants with like a positive trade with sword into mage, and then just full retreat if he wants to, or maybe find a free hit with his golem.
I'm wondering if Zeronix didn't get a little greedy last turn. They had a very free village flip. They could have just backed off in center.
Yeah, I did think it was... I mean, it's... I mean, in terms of, like, army value damage done, it's not really all that much. I mean, it's like a sword, 2 swords and a mage, approximately. And a balloon.
To lose an expensive knight for it, lose your mage too, and lose the ability to flip back that 6th village. Zeronix could have kept the econ advantage, but they gave it up for this attack. In fact, at the end of their turn, Go7 is going to be ahead on units and economy.
These games are tough. All it takes is one decision that doesn't quite go your way, and yeah, it's a tough game.
I love this though. I think it's so hype. I had Go7 written off, but Zeronix got a little bit greedy, and with some really smart decision making, Go7 pulled back into the game.
Yeah, he's beaten me. He learned Advance Wars so quickly, and when I saw that he, beat 2 players I consider absolutely elite Wargroove, I don't know. He learns extremely quickly. There's no doubt about that, and like fundamentals that you learn from Advance Wars definitely transfer, but I definitely didn't expect this to be sure, but he can turn games around. That's that much we've seen.
I never thought I'd say this, but I'm seeing a weakness to the golem spam strategy. Zeronix only has 1 anti-air unit. I think it was very smart of Go7 to start spamming mages here. Sorry, harpies, not mages. What am I saying?
Yeah. Actually, Go7 in one of his other, actually maybe several of his other games that I saw, went more for harpies, and I think both times Barrett said, like, oh yeah, that's an Advance Wars player strategy, like B copter good, harpy good. But I mean, so far Go7 definitely plays unconventionally, and like the harpy play seems to be a pattern.
A lot of newer players say harpy bad. I've seen that so many times, and whenever I see that, I say, watch Shu. Just watch Shu play. You'll think harpies are amazing.
Yeah.
Due to a severe underestimation of my part of my battery charge, I'm going to have to run and get a charger. I will leave the commentary to you for a moment.
Oh yeah, no worries at all. Okay, so in the meantime here, I was, in that silence there, I was trying to think of ways, like, sometimes when you're trying to break off a trade like this, you're engaging back and forth, you might be thinking, like, I don't know, one way that I like to think about it is, like, if I'm starting to lose, just find a way to, like, retreat while attacking, and then if you can, like, shore up during an attack that's good for you, then it's like you kind of end with a little bit of extra advantage out of the overall swing of things. So with things I was looking at, I mean, you could just imagine like potentially knocking down or capturing both of these villages, killing the sword. This guy looks a little bit too deep for you, but maybe like just taking control of all of that seems pretty good. And then, I mean, the other thing to think about is it's a bit awkward that these two swords have come back and, you know, taken this village. So maybe finding a way to, if you don't go, you know, to the center right area, then maybe find a way to like kill off two swords and, well, it looks like you can't this turn, but maybe trap the two swords and get your village back. At least it's like a temporary way to like, you know, ease the bleeding. Yeah, 5 HP. 5 HP in sword for 4 HP mage is a fantastic trade. It came with a crit from Elodie. That is like probably one of the most efficient trades that you can make. And actually, Zeronix going pedal to the metal here. Golem diving deep on the knight. Things are still a little bit tenuous with the anti-air situation. Only one mage. Both units moved. Yeah, only one mage that can deal with two harpies, like kind of in the middle of a fight. So there's going to be a little bit of free anti-air damage you have to worry about. And attacking into that is pretty brave.
I'm back.
Welcome back. So in the meantime, I was just talking about how Zeronix might find a good way to like sort of half retreat, shore up, and do some damage, and then he just kind of dives with it golem. So I clearly do not have a read into like how he plays the game.
The golem is very good. It's not easy to counter it in this situation, and now that Elodie has groove, Zeronix can stay and keep fighting if they want to.
Yeah,
but it could get increasingly expensive. It depends if Go7 can hold on or not.
There's actually kind of something nice about, well, so Knight has a crit on the golem, but it does get the, you know, it could get nommed, so... Or yoinked? What's the technical term here? Help me out.
I think this would be a yoink in this case.
This one's a yoink? Okay.
Yeah, Sigurd's the nom.
Okay, and actually Zeronix finds a nice way to recapture this village, which won't be killed next turn, and then picks off a 6 HP sword in a way that this dog looks, well, it's good. You could exchange this, but it seems like a nice little move in the eco direction, although these two villages still completely safe and healthy.
Yeah, I think it was a good move by Zeronix to use those units to get that village back. That way, they're not burning economy while they're executing this attack. It keeps it so that no matter what happens, they'll have the advantage, because Go7 has to fight while defending the stronghold. But if they have a little bit of extra money, maybe that can make up for the disadvantage. If they're even, not so much.
Right. So, you know, actually, one thing too that I didn't think about, you know, Elodie yoinking a harpy, suddenly the anti-air situation is completely reversed. So maybe Zeronix was thinking about that when he was, because did he build a mage last turn? Oh, he actually went double mage. Okay, because yeah, does feel a little bit sketchy with the mage situation. But Elodie's groove as a threat to potentially help with that is, you know, a welcome tool for him.
That's true. It's one of the reasons that Wolfar is so good, just to have that commander as anti-air power.
Yeah, that's definitely a great tool for sure. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead. I've been talking way too much.
No. I've been talking to myself. You go ahead. No, I mean, unless you don't have something to say, in which case I'll continue.
I forgot.
Perfect. All right, so I like, pretty interesting to see Go7 double down on Archer here. Like everything about it kind of feels like he's still hard defending HQ. So like building a slow unit like Archer seems like it can work out. Since it has no like other transportation.
I think the biggest problem is that Elodie Groove is the best groove in the game for attacking a stronghold head-on like this. Even some other comparable grooves like Wolfar, they kind of just don't break your brain as horribly as Elodie, because any of your units can be removed and used against you. It's so crazy to try to predict that and account for that and build a wall that not only stops the attack, but stops the attack against the wall itself. Oh, we see suicides coming out. This can only mean one thing.
Oh, man.
There's a lethal afoot. Next up, 8 sword. Yep, there it goes. We've got Night Crit, Archer Strike, and Harpy. That could be enough, but I think this will come down to the rolls. Now, Elodie is on planes. Okay, the Archer Strike came out. I like to do that one last, but I don't know if that's actually, there's reason for that. I just feel like it's a small number, so I don't want as much defense on it, but it's close. It's close.
48.
Oh! That was a very... Yeah, that was unfortunate. Oh, that was unfortunate. It was possible. It was definitely possible, but Go7 just did not get the roll. Actually, they rolled kind of poorly, I think. Alright, so overall, after the 2 sword suicides, Elodie's HP bar was showing like 7. So let's say 74 or something. Archer Strike is an average of 10. Harpy, Knight, altogether 75, but planes. I think this was in Zeronix's favor, but still, it was very, very possible. I wonder if someone in chat did all the math.
Yeah, let me check here. Oh, Walker's here. That's special. Precise calculation from 0. I don't know what that means. All right, I'm gonna stop reading chat again. So Elodie, I mean, like oftentimes when you see a failed lethal, it's just immediately in game. What do you think about Go7's position here now that he's failed lethal?
I think going for lethal here was definitely the right move. They were not winning. There was a very strong attack against them. I couldn't see a good way to defend it. I think that taking advantage of Zero being a little bit careless with their commander was the right call. But they needed to get the roll. They didn't. That just came down to luck. I think overall, they were put in a... They put themselves in a difficult situation with their opening. I think that really hurt them for most of this game. They clawed it back. Zero kept fighting. They got a little greedy. They took advantage of it and didn't get the roll in. That's it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is interesting that like the game is swayed back and forth so much, despite you seeming to not like Go7's opening that much. Like that definitely speaks to. I mean, it's easy to have things not go your way or get overconfident, all these things, but it's when your opening starts off not great and you bring it back to like a near lethal. That's not the worst. But
that's pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. I was wondering though about so like how does Zeronix follow this up? Like, I mean, I don't see lethal on anything. I mean, interesting to see the sword attack into the village. Is that what I saw? Oh, no, it hit the dog. Okay. I mean, Elodie can heal off the village, and then I guess you just regroup, kill off the harpy. But it looks like the golem can stick around to kill off the knight as well. And that's like a pretty big chunk of change, and I think Zeronix is just in a good position after that.
The thing to keep in mind is that even though the lethal didn't work, that doesn't necessarily mean that the game is immediately over. Because Elodie has so low health, it would be extremely risky for Elodie to groove right now. Because there's a witch, there's an archer, there's a lot of things that could pick her off. In fact, at 9 health, if she doesn't get any healing, a witch hex takes her out. So, at the very least, Elodie groove has been kind of warded off. Now we look at the golem. The golem can only hit the stronghold from the bottom, but if it does, there are 2 archers and Valder that can hit the golem. Maybe also a hex, maybe a harpy. So there's a lot that is happening that defends the stronghold. So even though Go7 didn't win the game, and they could have won the game if they got the rolls they needed, they defended their stronghold another turn, and the economy isn't terrible. It's close to even. So it's not over yet.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, from what I can tell, I tend to agree, definitely. I mean, it does feel like, though, it just seems like Go7's army comp is not really suited to fight 2 golems right now.
Unfortunately, that is the nature of golems. It is extremely difficult to counter golems when you're down on early economy. And this is why I keep going back to that opening. If you're playing Valder, you can't be down on early economy.
Gotcha. Okay, so it is like kind of a well enough known idea to just like pump money into golems, and then you're just really hard to counter when you're down in economy.
Absolutely. Golems aren't broken per se, but it is something that makes counterplay difficult when you're behind if your opponent starts pumping out golems.
So I'm curious, actually, when you saw like Go7 build the witch, do you actually think that was like a direct response to the commander being at 4 HP? Like the idea that it prevents Zeronix from even thinking about not lethaling this turn and like using groove because it just immediately dies to hex. It's like a way of limiting the option.
I think the witch was there in case Elodie managed to steal a harpy.
Okay,
if Elodie had stolen a harpy plus golem could have protected Elodie from being hit at melee range. Maybe an archer could have been taken out. The witch resolves 2 problems. 1, it can hit the harpy. 2, it can hex kill Elodie.
Gotcha. Man, it's a pretty powerful build. covering 2 different possibilities pretty strongly.
Unfortunately, it's expensive, and it does not help against the golems or the hordes of units approaching.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely.
This is really the power of being Elodie and at your opponent's stronghold. You can force them to build unnecessary witches. You can force them to sacrifice units trying to kill your stuff. You're not supposed to put yourself in lethal range. That was a bit of an oops by Zeronix. But overall, this was a very well executed Elodie attack.
You know, I was just thinking there's a unit that Purple has that can't be grooved, and that's Valder, who's been kind of absent from that fight, but has been doing a bit of, economy damage on the sides. What do you think about, I mean, it would be hard to like figure out exactly how much economy Valder denied or gained by hanging out in the lower right, but yeah, it's hard to Like, do you think that was like a misplay by for Valder to sit down there, or do you think it was all right for Valder to kind of go for the slightly greedier economic option?
I think the economy did help Go7 a bit, but honestly, I'm not sure there was anything they could do when Elodie got that close. I think they played it about as well as you could have. Maybe they could have tried to bring Balder back early and use a commander to make up for the gold difference, push Elodie off, and then just fight down on gold. But ultimately, Go7 would be at a disadvantage no matter what they did at that point in the game. Their opening was just really slow.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, Valder is in range of sitting in front of HQ, but it's a lot of army that he's staring down.
Absolutely, and Zeronix has been keeping around a lot of low health units. We could see double sword suicide into Valder, even double crit sword suicide, dog suicide, followed up by a golem attack, Elodie herself. Well, not Elodie herself, sorry, Elodie's doing the critting, but maybe something Elodie stole, mage. It could be a little hazardous to stand right there, but if Valder lives, at least you'll have groove.
Yeah, won't you though? So one thing actually here, Zeronix goes double knight, which feels great. Feels like that's kind of the unit that you want to have right now. And sometimes when I see like full buy, like spend all my money on knights or spend all my money on mages, occasionally those are panic builds. Like, oh gosh, I'm in dire need of this. Just give me all of them. Definitely, it feels like 2 knights are going to be welcome to this unit composition. Being able to threaten HQ from a lot further away.
I like all the damage coming down on this golem, but I don't think it can be killed. And as long as it can't be killed, it can be mage healed back to full.
So the damage value for golem is like exactly 40, right?
So when a golem is at 40% health, or lower, but exactly 40 counts, it gets its crit condition, which multiplies its damage by 250%.
Right.
So a 40%
right, yeah.
golem attacks with the force of a full health golem.
I just wanted to make sure that wasn't 45 and there was like a luck roll was involved. But no, it looks like that was pretty well calculated. It's always a weird thing to just be like, you look at your golem and it's like, why can't my sword attack my own golem? Like, it'd make my life a lot easier. Come on. So looking at options here for ghosts for Zeronix, I mean, Elodie doesn't have anything to groove and she can't hit anything, so her being out of the picture kind of makes lethal look a little bit less appealing. But I mean, at least there's like mage heal double sword crit and mage heal double sword crit suicide, dog suicide, but I guess there's nothing else to really do damage.
So if I wanted to kill Valder this turn, here's what I would do. I would use a heal on maybe Dog and 5 Sword, Golem and 5 Sword, Golem again, or maybe Golem and 5 Sword twice, then Dog and 5 Sword. Move Elodie, get crits. I don't know which way to do this is optimal. You'd have to calc a bunch of things, because critting with a 9 Sword might not finish the 9 Sword because it's plains, not road. But basically, you suicide all the units, crit with the swords, use mage heals to get the golem up to full, smack with the golem, and then run a remaining mage, if you have one, into Valder. I don't think it's enough. I'm going through the numbers in my head. You can get like 30 plus damage from the swords, especially if they're critting. If you heal them, even better. So like maybe heal them once to 70 and then crit them both. And now you're doing like, I don't know, 40 damage with the swords, which is crazy. Then the dog goes in. then the golem, then you finish with a mage,
Or
maybe?
sword
It's
crit?
doable, but
Like full HP sword crit. Does that do more than mage?
no, I'd suicide the swords. Suicide the swords.
Oh, the full HP one too.
Which one? No, I don't send that sword in at all.
Okay.
Well, actually, yeah, that's a good question. But no, it does less than a mage. It does less than a mage.
Oh, it does.
I'd rather
Okay,
use mage
okay.
because mage will do 25. Sword crit will do, I think, 22.5. So mage is better.
Gotcha.
But this is just theory crafting. Like,
Yeah.
Zeronix might be thinking about it, but they shouldn't do it. It would be silly, because if it doesn't work, then...
Yeah, I'm still getting a feel for the numbers again. It's like, yeah, memorizing damage values never quite got to that stage, but yeah, just like going off of intuition to know like, this is worth throwing a game over, seeing what the outcome is. But I'm sure at least Zeronix. I don't know if Go7 knows about the lethal calculators, but I'm sure Zeronix has that one open on a tab.
There are lethal calculators now? Wait a minute. What?
Yeah, he showed me one that he made himself. It's on GitHub.
Madness. I just do the math. Like,
Yeah, you're the few and the proud.
I've been replaced by a robot.
Yeah. 21st century.
Oh wow, Zeronix is retreating. I don't think they had to retreat necessarily, but it's not a bad call.
I feel like it's not so bad because your next turn you're getting 2 night crits you can line up, and if you can just wait a turn for you to have that threat, it's like you just have that much more that many more tools at your disposal it seems.
It's absolutely a good move to back off here. I think it's the best move. I'm just amazed Zeronix is actually doing it. Maybe they got a little bit scared after that almost lethal.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, I think we've all had those moments where we like click ourselves into like breaking a stalemate and initiating a huge fight, and the whole time you're thinking like, I shouldn't be doing this, so that kind of self-control, in these games can be challenging.
Now Go7 has an interesting predicament. They built a "you're going to attack me" army. A bunch of archers, some pikes. Zeronix backed off. Now these really slow units don't have good targets.
Yeah, that's true. It still feels kind of like Zeronix is the one putting on the pressure, so I mean, spears make pretty good walls, so at least there's that, but archers, on the other hand, I've been told don't actually make that good of walls.
No, archers do not make good walls. And actually, it's a little misleading to say that spears make good walls. I'd say more spears help you make good walls, but they can't really take a hit to the face themselves from a lot of things.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, Golem being one of those things for sure. It's just, I guess I always think of knights as the thing that I use to clear stuff out. But you're very right in that they're not very much fan of golems.
I think we see the spears kind of doing the cha-cha slide down the side here, or like the Spartan advance. I guess that sounds a little more intimidating, but they're gonna get torn apart by all these mages, golems. Elodie could swipe one if Zeronix is feeling antsy and just wants to use groove.
Yeah, it does kind of look like Zeronix can take a little bite out of that spear formation. It depends on what everything else does, but they do look a little bit nommable by a larger army.
I do like, though, that Go7 isn't just giving up. They're not saying, oh, well, I can't really attack you. I'll just inch forward and let you build more golems to send in my face. They're like, no, I'm going to do something. I'm going to go after this village. I don't know if it'll work, but I'm going to go for this village.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if this happens. I don't know if you guys see this in like higher level Wargroove, but in Advanced Wars, since the power is kind of scaled with the total amount of damage on the total amount of value on the board, there's a thing where like you can't really sit back and wait sometimes. Like waiting hurts you each and every turn, even if you're even on economy. So it's like advancing from a stall position is just sometimes forced, and I guess at this point it's forced by economy, so maybe the analogy is a bit misplaced, but I mean, just like having to respond to the economy by making a little, you know, foray forward with the spear seems like yeah, we'll see what happens, but yeah.
It's definitely the economy that's the forcing factor in Wargroove. If you're down on economy, the impetus is on you to do something.
So
one thing I like is that the units that can attack the spears can also attack the swords, but not necessarily both. So it's like Go7 is planning to counteract the mage attack on the spear. Mages are more valuable than spears, with sword attacks on mages to try to win the trade that way.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, it's like the outer units can engage, but I mean, nobody has the movement to hit the inner units. How are we doing on timers? I haven't been paying attention to that too much, but I mean, so Zeronix is at 36 minutes. Have you seen Go7's timer lately?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly. I think it was around 23. Zeronix has a very big time advantage. Oh, and the knight takes the side village. That one in particular is very difficult to recapture on this map.
Yeah, that is definitely out of the way. Out of the way of everything.
The mages are going in on those spears. The spears will go down. So the real question is, can Zeronix protect the units that are killing the spears? So, that pike lives. That's possible. I think that golem had a little bit of damage on it. It wasn't at full health, and so because of that, it couldn't one-shot the pike.
Sure. Yeah, I was thinking about potentially, like options of maybe the sword going in and finishing off the spear, but actually, it's just one spear that's at low HP, so it's probably not. Like, there are no other spears on the board, so it doesn't have friends.
You're probably right about that. It's not necessarily worth a unit to do that. I think Zeronix really just wants to shore up their formation. There's archers, and those archers are scary. You want to keep those archers away from your squishies. Yeah, so they're keeping their golems next to each other like that, making it impossible to get multiple attack sides on the golems, and protecting the mages so you can't walk through that village.
see. I guess Elodie can go center there. And, yeah, it's always interesting to see how much damage you take from defensive formation, from defensive terrain. And actually, Elodie being a little bit more conservative than I thought she'd be. But is the Night Crit set up? No, Night Crit is not set up.
Zeronix doesn't really need to kill the Stronghold right now. Their economy lead is so strong. They've got double Golem and Elodie Groove into a Valder. They just need to keep fighting, and they'll win on time, or their opponent will surrender, or they'll just overwhelm the Strongholds. They really don't need to do anything risky here.
Yeah, you're totally right. And as you said, Go7 is right around 21 minutes, so I feel like a 10-minute lead when there's 30 minutes in the game is pretty significant.
Zeronix should just build a Mega Tank and win. Well, you could argue that a Golem is effectively a Mega Tank.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, basically. I mean, it has more than 3 ammo, which is pretty welcome.
Oh yeah. You ask a Golem about its ammo, it says it has 2, and it raises its left and right fists in the air.
Oh, man. You know what's actually pretty remarkable about Go7's performance in this tournament? Is like, he admits himself that he's just not as good live as he is async. And I've lost to him like 3 times async, and I've beaten him once live. Like... I don't know. He is... I mean, yeah, really impressive story for sure.
Like, the thing is, they play the game very, very well, Go7. Like, that lethal was good. They noticed it quickly. They went for it quickly. They knew the numbers. Their formations are good. Their overall tactics is good. They just opened wrong. That's it. That's the only mistake they made. But Zeronix played such a solid game and attacked so quickly that it was enough to keep them on the back foot.
So we can
All
talk
right,
about
if you're
moves.
Go7...
Yeah, I was about to say, moves for Go7 here. Witch
Great minds
Hex?
think alike.
Yeah. Witch Hex on a lot of army that seems decent, but you also don't want to, like, either die or get yoinked, both of which sound horrible.
I'd save the Witch. It's just gonna die to a mage. 300 gold is expensive. Unless it's the difference between killing a Golem or not killing a Golem. I'd leave the Witch out of this.
Okay. You know, another thing you might think about is, like, how could you do free damage with your archers? I mean, chip damage on golems is nice, but it adds up eventually, and I guess it burns mage heals at some point. But there's only really one archer in range, unless you go ultra deep, which doesn't seem very appealing at all.
The biggest problem for Go7 is that Elodie is chained to almost every unit in this formation. So if you attack anything, your unit can be stolen. Oh, is Valder gonna die? There's no Night Crit, but you can get Golemed to the face. No, I think that's safe. Let's see. 45. Suicide. Archer hit. Yeah. Balder's safe.
Witch Hex? Does that reach?
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
I think it's 4, not 5. I could be wrong.
Well, I definitely don't know, so...
Either way, I don't think there's enough to kill Valder, unless you got, like, stupidly lucky.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I mean, I don't think the Zeronix is looking to get stupidly lucky right now. At least he's not willing to bet everything on it, that's for sure.
I just love how Go7 decided, okay, full army in my range, right? Like, there's some golems, I got archers, I can do chip damage. I'm gonna move to the other side of this front and sword crit another sword.
Yeah.
And honestly, that might have been the smartest thing they could have done.
One of the nicest things about the move is, like, I don't know, it kind of trades villages out, and it might eventually erase the upper left village that Zeronix captured. It's like by scooching everything left, Go7 could win 2 villages and lose 1.
They're gonna lose an archer, though. Probably.
Yeah.
Zeronix is like, must be having a field day right now. You could knight crit an archer. You could send a golem in for the stronghold. You could golem knight the stronghold. Whoa, double witch! I love this. This is the ultimate defensive army. Just archers, witches, and meat shields for the archers and witches.
Yeah, unfortunately, in order to win, Go7 has to go and kill stuff. And with the timer ticking down, it's on him to do that. So, you know, it's... Yeah, anyone can misstep, but it's... In theory, like, on paper, Go7 kind of needs to probably either start moving a lot faster or at least find some way to start getting more aggressive. Fish for a way to win.
Alright, we've got the Desperado Archer there. It attacked the mage, trying to get as much value as possible, because no matter where that archer stood, it was just going to get wrecked. Probably a good call. Most efficient thing they could have done with that archer. I'm just thinking, does Zero do it? They could hit the stronghold right now. They could. I don't know if they should, but they could.
Yeah, I mean...
Really big damage.
The knight doesn't crit, though, which is kind of... Wait, does the golem hits? The golem hits, okay. Yeah.
It wouldn't be a kill. It would require one turn to follow up.
Yeah, and try not to get your commander killed. Yeah,
And the golem instead...
Yeah.
I mean, fair. If the most efficient thing you can do with your awesome golem is kill a 1 health pike, that's what you gotta do.
Well, it does
A third golem.
Wow.
So this is funny because I've had this conversation with Zeronix, and I've been like, yeah, you just spam golems when you're really far ahead. And Zeronix is like, no. You just need like 2 golems, and that's enough. It's inefficient after that. And yet...
Well...
But why no dragon?
Yeah, I know that's, that would be the meta thing to do. However,
No,
Yeah.
honestly, this is the meta thing to do. I just like dragons.
oh really? Oh okay. I've been out of it for a while then. Yeah. Um. Do both knights crit? But they crit the same golem, so it doesn't really matter from the same tile. Earlier you were like slightly critical. I mean, like maybe jokingly slightly critical of the golem just killing the 1 HP spear. The positioning in that forest is nasty, by the way. Like that is so far forward, high defensive terrain, next to another golem who's next to a city. It just seems like it's about as far forward as the map wants you to sit.
Oh yeah, no, it was the right move. I was joking around.
Okay.
Or rather, my words were literal, not sarcastic. Like I was seriously saying when the right thing to do is killing a 1 health pack, you need to kill the 1 health pack. But it's funny because it's like it's this giant golem, and the best thing you can do with it is kill the weak pike.
Gigantamax brain.
Yeah. Max Strike, your speed is lower because I removed you from the board.
Yeah, I said that and then I was like, oh no, has this guy played Pokemon, the new Pokemon? Oh god. Yeah, giving references that people don't get is horrible. But anyways, Go7 looking like he can make a nab back at this economy. He could do even just 2 swords to recapture this village is pretty sweet. And then kind of being able to split the army, keeping the second knight away from the rest of Zeronix's stuff. Also a nice pickup because this knight has been pretty inactive for a few turns. You know, having a second knight in the bulk of the army seems like it would improve the army quite a lot. Just one more thing that you can use to snipe archers with.
The thing is, Zeronix doesn't need to win. Zeronix just needs to not lose. Even if Go7 takes that village back, they're never getting the one all the way to the left without dedicating, like, half of their forces to it. Like, Zeronix can stop a push on that 6th village with 1 knight. They just have 1 knight. You can't send your knight or you get hit by Zeronix's knight. That's not worth the village. So, what do? And on top of that, you've got Knight Crit Golem can kill a stronghold. Golem can kill a stronghold. You have 3 units on 2 sides of a stronghold, backed by 2, maybe 2-point-something mages. Realistically, only one of the mages is actually threatening it, but it's not gonna be easy to defend this right now. And a witch. So, like, what do? Double witch, try to put a harpy on another one, and then put archers behind that, shoot at the golem, maybe? I don't...
like a layer of witches, layer of archers, layer of dogs, and then a layer of knights. That's what I'm thinking. It just might take like 10 turns to get there.
It's like we're making a Wargroove cake. Okay, we need a layer of dogs, layer of archers.
Then some dragons for the frosting.
Oh, that poor dog, it never stood a chance. Moment of silence for the brave doggo. I think Go7 is feeling the clock a little bit, or there's just literally nothing they can do, because this maneuver, it is going to be so expensive on the counterattack. Unless they're thinking really far ahead, they're going to do this really, really well. But that harpy's dead. That harpy is just dead.
I mean, I think what Go7 sees is an option to kill a golem. Oh, that witch is so deep. Oh, does the second knight crit? Yo. That's cool. And
Oh, that is so sweet.
then you'd have to be a madman, but like, surely you don't put Valder on a road to finish off a golem, do you?
Well, as I've said, there are no dragons, so a road isn't as bad.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you have said that. Yep. Oh my gosh. Oh.
I mean, actually do it, gosh darn it!
Well, okay, to his credit, he has to do something, and I think this is a sneaky enough attack that it's like, my opponent probably didn't plan for this, let me just go for it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm trying to see what it would take if I wanted to kill Valder right now, and it's not perfect. You want Elodie to be an attacking force, probably. Whoa, not even thinking about it. Not even thinking about it. Zeronix is like, lethals? No time for that. I kill units.
Oh, Zeronix can if he's feeling feisty with Elodie, he can completely take over air this turn. Although it doesn't really matter because he doesn't have any like dragons or anything, so actually it's probably not even that particularly strong.
Yeah, I mean, you could just throw mages into the air and save Elodie Groove and you're fine.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of a reason to like groove the witch, but
Can the archer get there? Yeah, the archer can get there. Mage takes witch, then archer stands where the balloon is, knight finishes dog, mage finishes witch. Not where I would have put that. Oh, you're stealing it. Okay, it works if you steal it.
next to Valder. Oh, and the mage hits that witch too. Brutal.
Oh no, archer can hit knight.
Yeah, that's right, from south of the village. And that pretty much declaws this entire army for Go7. Unless I'm missing something major.
Nope, this would be the point of GG. Really impressive taking down those golems. The problem is the counterattack was just too vicious. Archer went for Valder? I would have gone for the knight, but hey, doesn't really matter. Zeronix played this so well.
Yeah, that knight that's been on the left-hand side, you know, doing city capture duty now has a crit lined up, and it's just like so many threats right now.
Well, Go7 has a big decision to make.
Yeah, so
And it looks like they're not surrendering.
well, he might sit and think just a little bit. Not being able to deal with the witches is, well, I guess. What does Archer crit do to a witch?
Next to nothing.
Okay. I mean, even if there isn't a lethal, Zeronix can just like continuously hex and then use this entire army to just like wipe everything. So I'm not too confident here for Go7.
For a second there, I thought you were gonna say, even if Zeronix doesn't move anything else, they just keep hexing until Volder dies.
Even if he double clicks and accidentally ends turn.
So, the next matches are scheduled for tomorrow, to today. It depends where you live, I guess.
Yeah. So it's gonna be, yeah, the matches are scheduled for, well, tomorrow for a little bit longer, and basically like Sunday evening, American time. So, any of those time zones.
Wait, which American time? There are a few of those.
Any of the time zones in the Americas in the evening.
Which America?
Is there an America in Asia? Sorry.
There are two continents.
Yeah, but all of them are like within like 6 time zones of each other, and the evening in any of those is like close enough. So, I could do like in 24 hours. How about that? Like 22 hours or something. That's when the next games are going to be.
Okay.
There we go. Let's see what chat has to say. Tomorrow, if you live in the wrong part of the world. Rude. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess I don't want to turn too much from the match, but I guess I won't then. Yeah, so Go7 going out fighting, going for the night, but I mean, everything about this just kind of screams lethal, so...
I think the match is effectively over, though I respect Go7 fighting it out to the end. I like to do that as well. Like, it's you could technically still win. Your opponent could accidentally click end turn while surrounded by dogs on road next to a dragon. It happens theoretically. But it does very much look like game end right here. If I were Zeronix, I would maybe try for a lethal. Or just wipe out all the units in your face. Yeah, Zeronix is probably just gonna kill everything. So let's talk about how we got to this point. Let's talk about how we got to this point. In the beginning, before the game started, we talked about the typical capture route, where you kind of go around and inward, and then immediately go sharp straight up and start capturing those kind of middle villages. Zeronix did that, and also when Zeronix did that, Go7 chose not to kind of invade their territory, which gives your opponent groove, but stalls them a little bit. This let Zeronix get near the stronghold very quickly, despite not having groove. I don't feel like Go7 was really prepared for that, especially with Elodie, who is the best commander in the game for being right next to the stronghold. I think, just Tendry, Wolfar, Nuru, anyone else, Elodie is the best base racer in the game. Because not only does one of your units get removed, your opponent gets a new unit of the type that was removed. So if you're guarding your stronghold with weak units, they get destroyed. If you're guarding with strong units, they get stolen. So there's really no right answer to Elodie. This looks like a kill. Yeah, this is GG. I think Zeronix takes the win here.
GG. Wow, definitely quite a game. I really don't say that lightly. I mean, with that quick, the way that you summed that up was fantastic, and I think that it really just shows different players pushing at different times and things just not quite working out each time, and then at different points in the match, players each of them felt like they were getting a better foothold, and basically, Zeronix found a good economic way to stay ahead, and then with the time advantage was able to milk that into a win.
I will say that both players, fighting and tactically, had very close skill. Go7 walled well, attacked well, almost got a lethal. Zeronix counterattacked well, Go7 fought back. But ultimately, Zeronix played their commander well and opened well for that commander. I'm playing Elodie. I'm going to do the standard opening. I'm going to get in front of your stronghold. Whereas Go7, I'm playing Valder. You're supposed to do the fast opening and get early villages, but they took a slower opening and stalled their commander health. Zeronix did a better job playing to their commander's strengths in the beginning of the game, and I think that's what gave them the edge in every fight after that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, to go off that, I would say that kind of knowledge of like the details of how you want to play specific characters, of like how to play one character of many differently than the others, that's stuff that to me is sometimes some of the last stuff to come in this game. Like, it just comes from lots of conversations with a lot of people, tons of games, and just trying new things out. So Go7 definitely on his way to becoming if he's not already a fantastic Wargroove player. Just these unconventional things, some of them may be ironed out in time. And hey, we get to see tomorrow how the openings go. So it'll be interesting to see if there's any adaptation already, or if it goes a different way. Cool. So
I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say, I was just gonna wrap up. Did you have any other concluding thoughts you wanted to make?
Oh, no, I think we got most of it.
All right, sounds good. Well, Sneaky, thank you so much for showing up and helping me commentate this. It's so nice, having somebody knowledgeable about the game, help me through thinking about it, and it's very enjoyable commentating with you. So yeah, thanks so much.
Oh, I had so much fun too. Thanks for having me.
All right. So with that, we're gonna wrap up. Tune in about 22 hours or so, and we'll have the remaining games. So see you guys all next time.